We will go ahead and get started. So let's start by moving our awareness to our posture, getting the body situated, settled in a comfortable, stable, upright position. So keeping our feet flat, our hands in the lap, the palms upturned and the thumbs forming a gentle triangle against the body or resting on the knees. Trying to avoid slouching, leaning, or resting the back. Our eyes are gently open, slightly open, or just lightly closed, whatever will allow enough light to come in to remain alert. And just allow the body to fall into place in whatever feels the most comfortable and most stable for you. And try to pull back your engagement with the outside world, telling yourself that whatever thoughts, plans you have, you can pick those up once the session has ended. But now is just the time for meditation. Try to use the physical sensation of the air as it passes into and back out of the tip of the nostrils to hold your awareness in the present, noticing as quickly as possible when anything other than that sensation has arisen in the mind, and then just letting go of that thought or feeling and gently returning to the physical sensation. Trying to hold the mind for longer and longer periods without distraction. And then establish a broad and virtuous motivation for your time, thinking that when we develop our qualities through study and meditation, when we actualize our potential for development, and it's not just ourselves that benefit, but all sentient beings also benefit from our enhanced capacities. So when we think of the incredible kindness of sentient beings, we think that by developing ourselves, that that's the way that we can repay that kindness, by becoming more familiar with positive, virtuous mental states and lessening our habituation to states that cause suffering, by finally culminating our development in the enlightened state, helping all beings to overcome suffering completely. That's the best way to be of benefit, the best way to use this life of leisure and endowment. So today we'll be looking at the 9 point death awareness meditation. This coming after looking at the preciousness and rarity of our lives. So we've already become familiar with how extraordinarily precious it is to have all of the qualities, the 18 qualities of a precious human life come together at once. But now we also have to confront the fact that this coming together will end. That at present, we have this extraordinary opportunity due to the leisures and endowments of our life, but this opportunity is limited in its duration. So, as an antidote to the mistaken view that we can always find time later, that we can wait, we can put off our practice until some hypothetical future. As an antidote to that mistaken thinking, we have to become familiar with the inevitability of our death, the uncertainty of the time of our death, and the fact that at the time of our death, it's only our spiritual familiarities and capacities that will be of any benefit to us. So we start by contemplating the certainty, inevitability of death. So we do this first by thinking that everyone must die. So we can bring to mind people from history that accomplished the most extraordinary things. The people who conquered great areas of land, establishing vast kingdoms, empires. The people who wielded the greatest powers on earth. The people who invented completely new technologies, new philosophies, even the greatest spiritual seekers and saints. Everyone who was ever born more than 130 years ago, regardless of what they accomplished, passed away. So bring to mind whomever for you will demonstrate that point, two or three, four people who were unable to conquer death. You can think of the societies, the families, the businesses, the organizations that populated the earth 150 years ago. How vital and vibrant those lives, those associations were, and how today none of the people that comprised those units, those individuals, none of them continue to exist. And the world is now made up of completely different families, societies, organizations, businesses, creating the world that we live in now in a completely different way. And in another 100 years, almost no one alive on Earth today will be alive. No society or organization will be comprised of the individuals that make it up today. Then the next point is that from the moment that our life began in the womb, the number of moments of our life has only been decreasing. Every moment that we spend is another moment shortening the amount of time remaining between this moment and the moment of our death. It is as if at the moment of our creation in the womb, it's like jumping out of an airplane without a parachute, and the ground is only getting closer and closer. And the next point that we can consider is that during our lives, the amount of time that we set aside for spiritual practice is quite small. Early in our life, there was very little, and even now, we spend so much time working, sleeping, engaging in entertainment, that the amount of time that we actually devote to spiritual growth is quite small. So try to think about how much time, honestly assess how much time you spend creating the habits that will really be of benefit at the time of death. So having contemplated those points, try to think I must practice spirituality. We can move on and contemplate the uncertainty of the time of death. So we first think that for humans, there is no established lifespan, that sometimes very young children die, adolescents die, teenagers die, people in their 20s and 30s die, and sometimes people die who seem very healthy and vital, while some people who seem quite frail may live for quite a long time. I also think that there are many causes that can bring about our death. There are many dangers in the external world. There are many diseases. There are many sudden accidents. Think of all of the people who went to sleep last night with plans and did not wake up this morning. Even many people who drove to work this morning and died before they got there, or will die before they get home. Try to think that because the time of my death is completely uncertain, not only must I practice spirituality, but I must practice spirituality now. And think when the time of my death arrives, I will experience that process alone. As my mind becomes more and more subtle, my engagement with the outside world decreases. It's only my own mind that will be going through and experiencing that process. And so, it's only the states of mind that I've cultivated in life that will be of any benefit. My friends and family, although they may surround me, they may not be able to benefit me because it's my own mind, it's what arises in my own mind that will determine how well I go through this process, whether I am peaceful or agitated, will depend on my own mind. My possessions will be of no benefit to me. I have to leave all of them behind. I have to leave my friends and family behind as well. Even this body that seems so strong, so solid, so dependable, the body itself will fail me at death. The only thing that will remain is the mind, and the habits and tendencies that I've intentionally cultivated in the mind. Try to think, not only must I practice spirituality, not only must I practice it now, but I must practice it purely, stainlessly, with great effort, in order to create those habits, those tendencies that will protect me. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together. And then we'll dedicate. So we think, we recollect our virtuous motivation of wanting to develop our qualities to benefit others. We think that by recollecting our impermanent nature, that will give us the fuel that we need to turn away from distraction and to use this life of leisure and endowment well. So we dedicate that effort for the benefit of all sentient beings, without exception. And we think by developing that familiarity, may that serve as a cause that will ripen as our enlightenment, will serve as the foundation of our practice so that we do achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And may that wisdom in our mind create the causes and the conditions to completely dispel the hindrances to the long lives of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Geshe Sherab, and all the great spiritual beings in our world. May they always guide and protect us and all beings without break, in lifetime after lifetime, until we each achieve the enlightened state for the benefit of all sentient beings. Thank you.